So I recently watched a meat church video from Matt Pittman saying that if you don't like salmon, it's because you're cooking it wrong. And if you do it the way he says to do it, then you're going to love it. So today, we're going to find out if he's preaching or if he's a false prophet. Let's do it. Now, Mr. Meat Church Matt Pittman says to set your pellet smoker to 275 degrees, so we've done that. I'm not going to use super smoke today, since this is going to be a relatively fast smoke. I don't think it's really going to make much of a difference. I'm using Bear Mountain oak and hickory blend pellets, only because I am out of smoking pecan shell pellets, which are, in my opinion, the absolute best pellets that you can use. But they're nowhere available near me, so I have to order them online. Obviously, it takes like a week to get here, being that. So just got to deal with what I can until they come in. Now, obviously, I am cooking this on a pellet grill, and Matt, the meat church, cooked his on a pellet grill. I'm sure this can be done on basically anything. I don't know if I'd put a wood plank in the oven or not. Maybe it's fine, no idea. I know a lot of people say pellet grills are easy bake ovens, and they are. They absolutely are. I love my easy bake oven. It's not the only thing I have. I have a Smoky Mountain that I do most of my smoking on. I've even got the kettle that you guys have probably seen on this channel multiple times that does a great job of smoking too. The only thing I really don't have, I want to get a drum eventually, drum smoker. I don't have an offset. I don't know if I want one or not. I guess if I get a bigger backyard, bigger setup, I'll get one. But I say all that to say, you can cook this on anything. Cook it on an offset, cook it on a Smoky Mountain kettle, maybe the oven, no clue. I don't think it really matters. We are talking about a fish fillet that's maybe that size. If you want to waste charcoal and waste massive wood splits or wood chunks or whatever on a piece of fish about that big, hey, more power to you. I'm not doing that. Now, if I'm cooking ribs and I have the time, they're not going on the pellet smoker. If I'm just really lazy, they're going on the pellet smoker. Just, you do you. Don't worry about what everybody thinks. Do what you're comfortable with. It's not that I don't think salmon's good, people. I think salmon's great if you have the taste buds for it. I just don't. So we're going to find out today if I'm weird or not, I guess. Another thing I want to add is I'm not questioning Meat Church's knowledge of smoking. I have cooked a ton of Meat Church recipes. I've done the Mexican chicken. I've done the pulled pork. The most recent one was some pork belly burn ends. Need to make a video with those because those turned out amazing. I know that Matt Pittman can cook. He's been on Food Network. He's been on backyard barbecue shows and whatnot. Excellent cook, excellent recipes. So if this turns out that I just don't like it, I know that's a me thing, not a Meat Church thing. So let me make that happen. Now, one thing that Matt didn't do that I did, he may have done it, just not said that he did it, but I'm going to do it anyway, is I did brine this salmon overnight in a salt water and brown sugar mixture. Should help it stay juicy. Another thing I forgot to mention is that he did cook his on wood plank, and he says that as long as you're in a pellet grill, you don't have to soak the wood plank overnight to make sure it doesn't burn. So I'm going to go on with it. Also, he says you don't need to remove the skin, so the skin is still on this salmon. Now, if you're wondering, I've been having to keep my salmon covered because I live in the south and we have a major fly problem. Super annoying. I actually have a fan. I've got it muted. You can't hear it, but I've got a fan blowing on me trying to keep them off as much as possible. And I've got my trusty fly swatter here for if they get too close, I can get them taken care of. Now, speaking of him being a professional, one thing he doesn't do that I always do is I have to add a meat probe. I'm not an expert. I can't just look at meat and tell when it's done. I like to be able to look at my phone and tell when it's done. And look, save yourself the trouble. If you don't have one of these, get one. Not necessarily this one. I'm not promoting any particular brand. This is a cheap one I got off of Amazon. You can get Meter, Thermopro, whatever. Get you one. Save yourself the hassle. Save yourself the trouble. You can set an alarm on these, and it tells you when it hits the temperature you want it. We're actually going to cook this to probably around 125 degrees. That's what he did in the video. When it hit that point, we're going to glaze it with our hot honey and then let it keep going for about another 10 degrees or so. I'm gonna go right into the fatty part of this salmon. Oh man, it may not work. Oh, there we go. That brine may have been a mistake. This joker is falling apart before it even hits the smoker. Now the smoker should be preheated up pretty soon, then we'll get it on. All right, as you can see, we are fully preheated. Let's get our salmon on the pellet smoker. Get our trusty fly trap out of the way. And I'm going on the top rack because the bottom rack is where that big heating element is, and I don't want to burn the bottom even with the wood plank. All right, let's wait for our probe to tell us when we need to glaze this thing. Sticker. Mess up my sticker. Take a drink of my water from my amazing mug. See it? That is available for pre-order nowhere, because I'm just a backyard dad who likes to cook and has way too much time on his hands and thinks way too much of himself to get his own logo. All right, our fish is hitting 125 degrees. We're going to go ahead and get it pulled off of the pellet smoker and glazed before we put it back on. I'll say this, it is looking good. I'm not going to put it in this pan for now because I don't want hot honey dripping all over my table here. But he put on a lot, so I guess we'll do the same. Get this thing good and covered in this stuff. All that healthy talk going out the door here. And just kind of paint it neatly. I know I don't like fish, but I will say, man, this thing is looking good. And we're gonna put it back on. I don't know how long it'll take. We're gonna get it to, I think, 135, another 10 degrees, and then we'll pull it and we'll see if it's any good. Now I'm using cotton underneath this this black nitrile glove because I'm not touching that straight off the pellet smoker. It's going to be hot. I wouldn't be able to bear it because I'm a bear, because bears back. All right, not gonna lie, even though I don't like salmon, this is looking fantastic and I'm starting to get excited to try it. Our salmon has hit temp, so let's pull it out and see how she looks. I gotta say, that's not too bad looking of a fish right there. I don't even like fish. Now, we're gonna have to let this cool off for a few minutes. Right now it's gonna be hotter than 2 rats fighting in a wool sock. So let's give it a few minutes and then we'll see how it tastes. See if Mr. Matt Pittman from Meat Church is full of it, or if he's right, that even if you don't like salmon, if you do it this way, you're gonna enjoy it. All right. Let's see if Mr. Pittman can put his money where his mouth is. I think this corner piece right here looks a little caramelized. It's got my name written all over it. All right, for all the marbles, is salmon finally good, at least according to my taste buds? Let's see. Still has a little bit of a fishy taste, don't get me wrong, but man, that's the best salmon I've ever had in my life. And that's saying something because I've never had good salmon in my life. So I guess it's not saying anything. Regardless, this is good. This is something I will actually make again. Of all the times I've tried to bake or grill fish in the past, I've never done a recipe twice. I'll do this one again. So Matt, keep preaching, man. You know what you're talking about. See you guys next time. Now, for this, you got to try it. So get outside and get cooking.